And we are back! Going to be concluding Bracket B, as well as the first stage of the open bracket in general. One final player is going to be advancing to net knockout stage from this part of the bracket. And it's going to be a Zerg player, but which one? In a little bit of a rematch, we're going to be kicking things off in this best of 3 on Site Delta. We're in the top left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top left. We have our red Zerg player coming out from Atlanta, Korea. Representing Team Vitality, we have Solar.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing his new team, Team Falcons, not Team Talons, as I believe that is the wrong logo. It is Rogue.
I thought it looked familiar, but also not. I believe the Falcons logo is green,
yes,
and more circular.
Yes. I mean, Falcons do have talons, to be fair.
That's true.
True. But I believe that is something that will be fixed once we let the lovely people know, so we can work on that. But for now, we're going to be settling into our ZvZ again. As you said before, this is a rematch between Solar and Rogue from earlier today.
Yeah, this was the first match that was played in Bracket B. That was earlier covered by Steadfast, who will be joining us once again over here. And that was a very chaotic match, to say the least. Again, we mentioned this before, but I think it still bears mentioning. The match that we casted, Kelzer versus Ryza, that was a 2-0. And that still took longer than Sola versus Rogue, which went all the way to the ace match, apparently.
Oh yeah, went all the way to the ace match in a very fast fashion. For now, hatch gas pool, standard openers, but just because the openers are standard does not mean that aggression is not going to be on the table. It is still very much so viable here, and oh boy, we'll see how both Rogue and Solar will approach this. We'll see what they bring to the table. For now, we're settling in, we're droning, and we should be working towards Bailey Nest. To be fair, Side Delta is a map where 2-base Roach is viable because the natural base is so defendable. Throwing down a Roach one is not unheard of. We'll see if we expand or start working on that wall.
Yeah, one or the other, really. As it looks like Solar is going to be the first player to expand.
Yes, Solar does take a third base. Rogue should be taking one as well, but is not in position, so it looks like Rogue may opt to wall off, may opt to play 2-base.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it earlier, 2-base Roach is a fantastic way to be aggressive on Site Delta. Just hits so fast and so quick that it's not a whole lot that a player who is playing a bit more macro, is expanding and droning up, can really do about it.
Yep, and there's, well, we have the Eva Chamber. Lings, they do slip into the natural base, but Queens pop out just in time, and not a single drone will go down. Solid defense here from Rogue. A Roach one should be thrown down thereafter to just fully wall off here on 2 bases and to settle into our Roach production. I say that we're going for a slightly faster lair from Rogue, actually, before said Roach Warren.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes on these gas geysers as the Roach Warren will be popping up. It's not unheard of to go for mutas, but still a little bit of a bigger risk than Roaches, I would say.
Yeah, and a very nice scout from Solar. He did slip into the main base, got a full scout of the lair timing as well, is fully aware what's going on. And Solar, he does go for his own plus on range. Solar should likewise be skipping Bailings and racing Rogue into Roach production.
Indeed, he should. Gonna get his Roach Warren and his lair a lot later than Rogue will, but again, he did expand quicker. He will have a lot more production to work with. He'll have more larva, and he shouldn't have more mining, as we should be cutting drones at this point for Solar, but still getting a couple both of them.
Yeah, so the way this works here is that Rogue will have stronger Roach timing with much faster Roach speed, as the lair is already done. Meanwhile, Solar will have the better economy. Solar should drone up, but he should be up, 5 or so workers before getting into his own Roach production, so that will be Solar's advantage here, is the better economy, better production against the higher Roach count of Rogue.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a balancing act there. You don't want to drone up too much and not have enough larva to defend, but for the most part, he can continue to drone up right now. He can get away with it. there is about to finish up, so he should be getting Gilile Reconstitution at, yeah, there we go, around the same timing as Rogue, just a couple of seconds later.
Yeah, I am a little bit concerned here when it comes to... Oh. Okay,
Oh.
I was like, where's Roach Speed? What's going on? We have it. It's a hidden Roach one with hidden Roach Speed, and we're going for a Nidus all-in. Now, Rogue has cut workers at 41. Solar did drone up a little bit too much, and he's still droning. Oh, Solar, he's still droning. Meanwhile, this is a straight-up 2-base all-in from Rogue. The more the Solar drones, the worse it's going to be for him in the defense.
Still droning.
Yeah, he's still squeezing out a couple of workers, running up to 55. Wow. Meanwhile, Lings are moving out. We have... Oh, so we do have an Overlord here outside the third base. Nidus Storm about to finish up, and here comes that eventual all-in.
Oh. And it is going to hit very, very soon. Soul is getting an infestation pit!
Oh my god.
This is not the time nor the place, Solar.
We're still droning. Look at the unit stat. It's 23 roaches against the 11 of Solar. Solar is getting caught completely with his pants down. Now, the Queens will help, but here comes the all-in.
Here it comes. Soul's best bet right now is to try to get a better concave, but looking at the sheer quantity of roaches that Rogue has, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, the Queens are going down one after the other. The numbers just in favor of Rogue. Solo was a little bit too greedy. He's being forced all the way back to his third.
A little bit?
Yeah, a lot.
Being way too greedy this time, and he did get caught completely off guard. A really good cunning, deceptive play coming out from Rogue this time. Completely hiding the fact that he was getting Gilile Reconstitution, giving Sola a bit of a false sense of security, making Sola think that he had a little bit more time to get away with droning, to get away with macroing, when really he needed to be building more army.
Yeah, the infestation bit tells me that Solar probably thought it was going to be mutas, right? Because he saw the fast layer, but he didn't see Rogue Speed. GG gets called. That would have been for Infestors, and Rogue takes game number 1.
I would not only hate to be in Sola's shoes, but hate to be in Sola's shoes when he looks at the replay and notices that there was a second Roach Warren behind the mineral line.
Yeah, I was so perplexed. I thought I was seeing things when I was like, I see Roach Speed on the way in the production tab, but I don't see Roach Speed on the Roach Warren itself. Like, what's going on? Then it all kind of pieced together, and I was like, oh my god, he's crazy.
StarCraft just crashed for me for some reason, but yeah, I had to do a little bit of a double take myself, because for a second I thought we didn't have Game Heart, or we didn't have the Observer mod, but then I looked at the Evolution Chamber. I saw the icon for +1, and I thought, is this just bugged? Do we just have a glitch here on Site Delta? But no, the glitch was in our minds. The glitch was in Rogue, as, yeah, again, that was... I think Rogue really playing to his strengths and doing what he's kind of known for, being very deceptive and being, in some ways, a Protoss player who plays Zerg, if you will.
Oh yeah, definitely, as just a very nice way to catch Solar completely off guard. And now we're going to be getting ready for game number 2. Ooh, as it is my turn for my game to crash as well.
Yep.
Oh. A little unfortunate there. Yeah, so hopefully we can actually catch game number 2. It's possible that they... hopefully we're able to catch it. Hopefully we're able to cover it. Because I lagged out as we were loading in. I think that is gonna... I think they are gonna rebuild that lobby.
Hopefully, as... Yeah, it looks like they are in the loading screen at the very least.
Yes, we are making our way back in. Whew, but yeah, already a wild start to the series, and we'll see how this does conclude. Well, I mean, I'm hoping we can go all the way to the ace match once again, but the pressure is now on Solar.
Yeah, the pressure very much is on Solar. I mean, it was already on him from the very start, having to fight his way through the lower bracket, having to go through players of the caliber of Skillus, of Shadown. There is a little bit of a, as you could call it, a double-edged sword, if you will, when it comes to being in this position. You know, some players, they have momentum, or some players are very much momentum based, and they thrive on that. But on the flip side, it can also tire you out quite a bit. Rogue, on the other hand, has been waiting quite a while for an opponent here, has been given quite a bit of time to recuperate, to get ready.
Oh, yeah, has been getting ready, preparing mentally for this eventual ZvZ. I mean, it could have been against a Protoss player. It could have been against Shidown or against Skillus, but Laser, I'm sure, has been... Sorry, not Laser, but Rogue, I'm sure, has been ruminating over the ZvZ for quite some time. And I wouldn't be surprised if he has another wild game prepared for us in game number 2. Would not be surprised at all.
Yeah, that I would not. Has been given time to, as you put it, ruminate. Just come up with a plan to go up against Solar. I'm sure he was able to look at his own replays earlier on when he played against Solar, and probably has something planned.
I'm sure he does. Just trying to figure some things out here. But for now, we are, just gonna lie in wait, and we'll see if a lobby becomes available. Otherwise, we might just have to wait for the ace match. If there is one, that may just be what we have to rely on.
Yeah. Keep our eyes peeled on the in-game chat channel, and we'll take a look. It seems that because you crashed out on the loading screen, they might be stuck there for a little while. So yeah, I hope that does prompt them to remake, but we'll see.
Yeah, they may just wait it out and play through anyway. So I guess we're gonna be going on a short break. When we return, we will either have game 2, or we will have the ace match, or we'll have another series. So I do apologize that both, but to be fair, again, both ourselves and Yaku did just crash suddenly out of StarCraft.
Ourselves and Yaku, yes.
Yeah, or myself and Yaku, we just crashed suddenly out of StarCraft. Don't know why, but did happen. So yeah, I guess we're gonna be going on a short break, and yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah. See you then. And we are back. We do apologize once again for some of our technical issues that we've had getting into this, but thankfully we've worked out a bit of a solution here. Steadfast very graciously has allowed us to restream over from his own channel, so much props to Steadfast, very much appreciated. And with that, we're going to be able to get our eyes on how game number 2 is gonna go down.
Yeah, here we go again. We have, of course, Solar in the bottom right. We have Rogue in the top left. It is going to be, I believe, yes, hatch gas pool openers, standard openers for the time being. So to reiterate what's going on, big shout out to Steadfast, as he has allowed us to restream his stream to get into game 2 at least. This is going to be a delay on a delay. So yeah, we'll work with it here.
Yo, dog.
Yeah, we heard you like some delays. But regardless, we are diving into game 2, and oh boy. Also, because we're streaming from his stream, we won't have in-game sounds. But it's okay. We'll be fine. We'll be okay.
Yeah. We'll just rely on the sounds in our head.
Exactly.
Don't be alarmed when you hear them.
Yes, as for now, we're just opening up in a standard fashion. Again, hatch gas pool into, I imagine, our third bases. I say this just because we spoke about it on Side Delta. Side Delta is a very good map to play 2-base Roach. Very good map for that. But on a map like Oceanborn, a little bit less successful. It leans towards that a little bit less. And there we go. We have both players expanding.
Just like so. Keep our eyes peeled for any additional gases or the first major tech variation that we notice. Both Solar and Rogue planning to go for Ling Bane, at least to start to kick things off. As Wise Man once said, the early game for ZvZ is of course Ling Bane.
There we go. Yep.
For ZvZ is of course Ling Bane.
So Banelings have been thrown down. We're going to be playing some Ling Bane for the time being. We could try to throw down earlier Roach Warren, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll also keep an eye on whether either player makes a surge of Lings, as that will be another big sign. There's that early Roach Warren from Solar, and Rogue shouldn't be too far behind with his own.
Yeah, shouldn't be the operating word. There we go. There's a couple of seconds behind.
Yeah, there we go. Roach Warren is on the way. So we are leaving the Ling Bane phase of ZvZ and entering the Roach v Roach. Like, this is as standard as standard can be. When it comes to ZvZ, everything's been pretty by the book, and no one has tried to kill the other.
Yet. Yeah, obviously is a pretty major risk when you only have Lings to work off of. If you're very confident in your control, you can try to snipe them and try to have Banelings of your own, take out the Lings of your opponent. But so far, it looks like at least Rogue isn't committed to that, as Solar is pushing, trying to see what he can get done.
Yeah, he threatens us around on the Queens. Banelings, they rock up just in time. You can see that Rogue is making roaches, so is Solar. Solar squeezing out a couple of drones behind this, so Solar is not all in. And we can see Solar is the first to take up and throw down a lair, as a lair is now on the way.
Indeed, it is. Let's hope that we're not going to see a bit of a repeat of game number 1, in that Solar gets a little bit too greedy, or he thinks a little bit too far ahead, that he ends up neglecting defending yet another all-in coming down from Rogue. Oh boy.
Yeah, Rogue, he has cut drones at 40. Solar has been droning. Solar is still droning as well. So Solar, he's taking into a lair, he's throwing down an Evo chamber, and he's droning up. Meanwhile, Rogue is doubling down with pure Roach. And Solar's in a bit of trouble right now. The more he drones, the worse this is going to be for him.
Uh-oh. And he's still droning.
Is squeezing out a couple of extra workers. You can see he's checking the saturation, but Rogue, he Maynarded. He's making it look like he just droned. And he didn't. He just sent them over from the natural.
Yeah, and there's no eyes in that natural base here. Solar has no idea.
Solar has absolutely no idea. Thankfully, Solar is amassing some roaches, but look at the look at the army disparity here. Look at the supplies. It is going to be 68 in favor of Rogue. We have 47 in favor of Solar. It's just not going to be enough. He's still droning.
He's still droning. Good lord. When it does come down to Roach v Roach, quantity is the #1 factor. Now, positioning can help. Getting a good concave can definitely be one way of minimizing that advantage, but there's a certain point where you hit critical mass of roaches, and that is the point that Rogue has right now.
Yeah, and here it is, another 2-base all-in from Rogue. Did fake it out, did reveal all those workers, and we break through the defensive line. Solar just doesn't have the numbers to defend. He pulls the boys, but there's just a sea of roaches here facing off against him.
Yeah, we see Rogue be up 10 army supply, and then 20 army supply, and then 30 army supply. GG is called. Rogue takes a very, very, very quick 2-0 in this series, and will be our final player from Bracket B, advancing to the knockout stage.
GG, well played. A very fast series. I imagine the first time they faced off was very similar as well, where it was just all in after all in after all in. Aggression from Rogue, faking out greed, faking out an economy. And Solar, he took the bait. He took it hook, line, and sinker, and he was just lured into a false sense of security. Solar was droning, Rogue wasn't.
That he was. He thought Rogue was droning. Key point. He wasn't. That was... Yeah, just... I mean... Yeah. That's all I can say. I mean, I'm shaking my head a little bit at Solar being a little bit greedy there, but in all fairness, I feel like if most of us were in that position, if we were scouting Rogue and we did see, oh, there's some saturation in the third base, or there is no research on the Roach Warren in game number 1, I think we would probably make that same assumption. And yeah, GG, that was very nicely done by Rogue to just be so deceptive and just keep Solar not just in the dark, but also feeding him a lie the entire time.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it was just a really good deception there from Rogue. I mean, I can't blame Solar. He checked the third, right?
Yeah.
Like, he checked the third base, he checked saturation, he did everything that you should be doing there, and unfortunately he just wasn't able to confirm it in the main base or in the natural.
Yeah, and he technically responded correctly with the information he had available.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the information that he had wasn't the full story.
Yeah, it just wasn't that full story, and in the end, GG, well played. Rogue, he makes it into the knockout bracket. Solar, one of the best Zerg players in the world, is eliminated in the open stage from DreamHack Dallas, from ESL Master Spring.
Yeah, that is absolutely rough. What's even rougher is that Solar only lost to Rogue in this bracket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
Still
Rogue
doesn't quite qualify.
Yeah, Solar, he literally beat every other player. Rogue knocked him down in the upper and the lower bracket as well. ZvZ seems to be maybe Rogue's specialty. I say maybe. Rogue did lose to a laser 2-0, and maybe it's just the mind games, right? Maybe it's just the deception there that is tripping Solar up. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something similar the last time they faced.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. I myself am going to look at some of these VODs to piece together a little bit of what happened, but yeah, GG, very nicely done here by Rogue. My heart goes out to Solar. He, like you said, one of the absolute best Zerg players in the world. It is shocking to me that he's not going to be advancing into that knockout stage. The fact that he had to come in from the open bracket itself is a little bit of a surprise, but we also have a lot of fantastic players coming in from the knockout stage. The fact that he doesn't advance is, I think, the biggest surprise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a crazy result there, and my heart goes out to Solar here. Again, I'm sure he expected more out of his performance in ESL Masters. I mean, I'm sure many did. Like for him to go down this early on. We mentioned it before, but it just goes to show how brutal this stage of the tournament is. Like, the open stage can be as hard as the winner stage, to be honest, just with the caliber of players. With players Gumiho, Creator, Solar, with Rogue here, with Beyond, with Su, DRG, Bunny. There's just so many high-quality players, it's brutal.
It very much is. But I'm not sure if this is good news or bad news. We are about halfway through thinning out the herd of top-tier players here. 4 players from the open bracket have already advanced or will already secure their place in the knockout stage. That is going to be Gumiho, Creator, Elaser, and Rogue. We have 4 more to determine in the open bracket.
Oh, yeah. We have 4 more. I believe we're going to be going on an extended break. I believe that is going to be the plan here. The other half of the bracket was supposed to have started already, but I believe they haven't. I believe they have yet to really commence. I do think we're a little bit behind schedule. So we're not really certain what we're going to be diving into. Dolan versus Cyan is our most likely choice, but we'll also see kind of where we end up and what Steadfast wants to go for as well. Again, we'll try to work together to avoid each other, to cover as much ground as possible. That's going to be the plan.
Yeah, we'll work something out.
Yeah, we'll work something out. Otherwise, I hope everyone in the chat has been enjoying themselves. Hope you all had a great time. Again, we're going to be going on that break, and when we return, we will have the second half of the broadcast.
Yeah, we'll see you then.